Iconography is one of the three main topics in Himalayan art, along with art history and religious context. There's many different ways to approach iconography, and you also approach iconography depending on whether your emphasis is art history or religious context. Now, if you're studying iconography with a strong iconography leaning, like that's your main interest, there's many different ways to approach the subject. And we've tried to divide up some of the more important of the topics to make them clearer, more understandable. But even so, it can be complicated, and we can always be thankful for additional methods, additional ways to look at the iconography that might be more in keeping with how we understand it or what our approach or interest in it is. So just briefly, we're really looking at a list of a number of important subjects. We're looking at the two genders, the three moods, the three modes, the 11 figurative forms, the 11 types of deities, and then subjects such as gestures and postures. Because these are physical, this is what we're looking at. It's not abstract. We're not talking about function. We're simply talking about generally how things appear or how they're presented visually. Now, a topic we haven't talked about is the three modes. Now, the three modes are really the three modes of deity appearance. And with this, we have an additional three topics. We have simple mode, complex mode, and universal mode. Now, what we're talking about is deities. We're not talking about historical figures. We're just talking about deity appearance. We're not talking about mandalas or number of deities necessarily. Just single deities, maybe with a consort. So we have simple, we have complex, we have universal. Now, with the three modes, with all of these, all three, simple, complex, and universal, we also have to consider the two genders. Then we have to consider the three moods. Now, the moods are peaceful, semi-peaceful, semi-wrathful, and then wrathful itself, and then the possibility of animal featured. We don't call animal featured a mood, but it is a variation that has to be taken into consideration. Then what we have is we have mnemonic systems such as simple, complex, idealized, and then possibly with a metaphor. Okay, so these three modes, what they refer to is the simple mode is a deity with a single face and two arms, male, female, animal featured. That's a simple mode for a deity. Complex mode is where the deity has multiple faces, 3 faces, 8 faces. They also have multiple arms, multiple legs. That's a complex mode deity. Then we have universal mode, and this refers to deities that have 1,000 faces or 10,000 faces. Or 100,000 arms. So deities that are in the universal mode are idealized, and there's no mnemonic system for these. It's just a very general, idealized, symbolic meaning. Simple mode deities have a very simple mnemonic system. Because we're dealing with very few body parts and attributes and decoration on the body. And so often the symbolism is generally the same for peaceful deities, the same for semi-peaceful, semi-wrathful, and the same for wrathful, because there's not a lot to work with. So with the complex mode deities, this is really where we get into the really extensive mnemonic systems, the tantric systems where you're incorporating a lot of tantric theory into the to the visual form of the deity and the painted or the sculpted form of the deity. So, just an introduction into the three modes of deity appearance. Now, you can press the like button. We would prefer if you did that. You can subscribe, and you can also help support and donate to Himalayan Art Resources on the homepage, or by joining Patreon and becoming a monthly patron to HAR.